The Cincinnati Bengals had a 2-game skid. Defensively, weren't doing things the way they had done in the 5-2 start, specifically getting off blocks and tackling people. Few assignment errors here and there as well. They needed, after the bye week, they needed to get their bodies and minds right during the bye, but after the bye week, they needed a get-right game. They went out to Las Vegas. The Raiders are a pretty good offensive football team. The Bengals defense had a get-right game. Lou Anarumo is the guy who put together the game plan and called that game. I think you're going to like what he has to say about the victory over the Raiders and the upcoming game against the Steelers. The clock is ticking. Time is running out. First Star Logistics wants to take care of all of our followers of Dave Lapham in the Trenches with sweepstakes prizes, and they're awesome. About $3,000 right around the holidays, huh? Santa Claus take care of a lot of people with $3,000. How about an iPhone 13? Nice prize right there. This is state-of-the-art iPhone 13. No doubt about that. How about an autographed football, an autographed Lapham jersey? Oh, boy, collector's item right there, huh? Yeah, I hear you. And 2 tickets to a Bengals home game as the Bengals make that playoff push. Nothing better than being there at Paul Brown Stadium. And then finally, dinner for 2 at Ruby's. I'm going to bring my lovely wife, Lynn. You can bring your significant other, whoever that may be, and we'll all dine around the holiday season. So, come one, come all. Check out down below how you can participate. All the information is right there for you. Don't waste any more time because tick, tick, tick. Time's running out. We want to welcome once again to In the Trenches with Dave Lapham, brought to you by First Star Logistics, Bengals defensive coordinator Lou Anarumo. And coach, it was a get back on track game. No question about it. Raiders out there in Las Vegas defensively played exceptionally well. When you guys came back from the bye week and went through the week of practice, did you feel like, man, guys are pretty focused, guys are looking like they're ready to get after it here?
I did. I thought that right from the get-go, the Monday that we had back, a little bonus day, I could just sense that they were ready to get back, and we communicated great that day. We had a good workout, more about ourselves on that day than it was about the Raiders, and then focused on some details coming off the bye that we needed to clean up, and and it showed here this past Sunday.
It sure did. I mean, it starts with stopping the run, and you guys really controlled the running game of the Raiders big time, and that's a week in, week out process, isn't it, Coach? I mean, you control the running game, good things are going to happen, right?
Yeah, 100%. I just think you make a team one-dimensional, and especially with the good backs that we continue to see every week. Jacobs is a really good back and hard to tackle. So is the guy we're going to play this week, and so you get those guys down to one thing, and it really helps for sure.
Yeah. And the tight end, they got a great tight end, Darren Waller. I mean, he's a Pro Bowl caliber guy for a reason. Obviously, he made some plays, but boy, did you shut down the receiver core. I mean, I think it was a combined 5 catches for 50 yards out of the wide receiver group in its entirety. So obviously you took care of business on the outside.
Yeah, we had made a huge deal. They had Deshaun Jackson that was going to take some of the roles they lost from Ruggs, and inside with 13, he does a great job of getting himself open, and 89 for them had done a great job as well. Starting to pick up his targets, and so we certainly paid attention to Waller. We had 1 or 2 things that we could have done better on some of his explosive passes, but overall felt like we kept those guys contained, and at the end of the day, 13 points is what counts.
No question about it. And third down, man, you guys really they were 0 for 6. They converted one late when the game was out of reach and inconsequential, but when the game was on the line, third down was magnificent.
Yeah, it was a great day. Credit to the players. They really executed, and had a couple of different looks for the quarterback, but our guys did a really good job of selling the disguises and things, and I think it helped, and it showed.
And then in the red zone, Coach, 3 opportunities in the red zone. They score 1 touchdown, and you guys have been really strong in the red zone, a high percentage of the time all season long. What is it? What's the key to success in red zone defense?
Well, I just think the players understanding what we're trying to get accomplished, knowing who the touchdown makers are in that part of the field, and honing in on those guys, and doing enough down there to keep the quarterback off balance. Combination of all those things allows us, allowed us certainly on Sunday and most of the season to be successful down there.
Now I got to get make sure that I'm reading my notes properly here on this, but sudden change, turnovers. The Bengals offense they've had 14 giveaways offensively that you've had to defend on a sudden change situation, and 2 of them were pick sixes. So you've had to worry about 12 of them. Of that dozen sudden changes, 7 times the opposition has scored points. Only 1 touchdown. 6 field goals, 26 points. 5 times they didn't even score. There's a punt, missed field goal, a 4th down stop, and 2 interceptions. So you get the ball right back. Problem on a turnover. Boy, you get a turnover right back for them. That's stuff's winning football there. And then 9 of those 12 possessions have been inside the 50-yard line. You defended a short field. They're in your territory 9 times. They scored on 6 of them, only 1 touchdown. 5 field goals for 23 points. On 3 possessions, they punted, they missed a field goal and an interception. And then 5 times you had not just the pick sixes, 5 times turn the ball over inside the 20-yard line. You have a short field to defend. Only 1 touchdown again. 3 field goals given up. That's 17 points, and then missed a field goal on those possessions in the red zone. When they get the ball right away on sudden change like that. Explain to me the success this football team has in saying, you know what? It's all right, offense. We got your back. We'll take care of business. I mean, it's pretty incredible, those numbers, Coach.
Yeah. Again, credit to the players. I just think that they believe, we talk to them all the time and say, hey, we're like firemen. We're going to put out the fire wherever it is. And, it doesn't matter where the ball's put down. We just go out there and we got to do our job. And that showed itself certainly the first possession of the game for us. Having, we had the turnover and we're down there inside the 10, and the guys rose up and forced a field goal. And it was a great momentum changer certainly that early in the game. And the great thing about it was I saw T. Higgins right after the game, and saw him again this morning, and I said, hey, you made one of the biggest plays of the game because you tackled the guy and gave us a chance to get out there and get them to kick a field goal. So, it's just a team thing. And again, Zach's done a great job of preaching that, and it's just how we all buy in and play collectively. But great play by T, which allowed us to get out there and us do our jobs and get them to kick a field goal.
Yeah, I mean, that tackle that he made was part of a 4-point deal right there. I mean, they left 4 points on the field. It's a 4-point tackle, and 3 snaps that they take when they're inside the 10-yard line, the low red zone, about as low as you can get. 1 yard. I mean, Coach, that's pretty strong. That did make a huge statement, and we talked about it. We talked about it earlier this week. The Cincinnati Bengals are one of 5 teams in the National Football League that are in the top 10 in scoring and points allowed. 9th in points scored, 9th in points allowed. The only other teams that can make that claim in that area of scoring in points allowed: Buffalo, New England, Arizona, and Dallas. And that's what's going to win you a lot of winning records there. That's what's going to win you football games. It's all about scoring points and stopping the others, right?
Yeah, the most important stat, obviously, is just keeping them off the scoreboard. And there's a lot of elements to it. But, you mentioned if you're doing that, then you're certainly giving us, our team, a chance to win. And that's all that matters.
What was it like to witness the H boys, I call them, Hubbard and Hendrickson? Hendrickson now with 9.5 sacks is amongst the league leaders. He's top 10. He's 9th in the league in sacks, and he's got a sack in 6 straight games, which he's creeping up on Bengals records there. He's currently got the longest sack streak of games in the National Football League with that 6 straight. But Reggie Williams and Eddie Edwards in Bengals history had done that same thing. So Hubbard gets his sack. Hendrickson says, yeah, I got to do this. I got to do that too. Next play, sack strip. Hubbard recovers the fumble, advances it half a football field. When you had that dominance going on the edge, what was that like for you?
That was great, Ben. As you mentioned, back to back, and we talked about it and how that we were going to get up on them and then get a chance to rush, and it showed there at the end, just kind of sealing the game for us. And Sam needed some oxygen after his return, but it was a great play. Those guys, they do everything together. They're out of practice early together. They work extra together. It's a great pair along with those other guys in there. But those two are attached at the hip, and it's a good thing.
Coach, there were tackling issues in the 2-game stretch. There were some struggles. 26 missed tackles. But looking at the Raiders game, I mean, you were making crisp tackles. I mean, Mike Hilton on that receiver screen blows it up. Jesse Bates, they try to run that little jet sweep out. He blows it up. You guys were, I mean, really, really picture perfect, sure tacklers in that football game.
Yeah, really. Again, it's always an emphasis for us. It's not anything. Nothing changed. It's not like we started tackling practice more.
Right.
We always do it, and just a conscious effort of getting back to the little details of it, and taking the right approach, the right angle, and getting our timing back on that. And the guys were always hustling to the ball. That's kind of one of our calling cards, and I think that always helps too, because if the first guy misses, then there's other guys there to get the guy on the ground. So I was pleased with that for sure.
Coach, I know. Again, injuries. I guess don't want to dwell on that, but you guys have been extremely healthy. Is it the way you practice? Is it just pure luck? I know there's nothing you can do on some injuries, but it seems like you guys really, the players take care of their bodies. There's no doubt about that, but you guys help take care of them, I think, in the way that you practice and how you practice and the things that you do. Do you think there is a significance there?
I think so, and I think Zach does a great job with that. Getting enough work in with the players, but also at the same time, we're at the end of November, beginning of December here. We've been going at this for quite some time now, so being really conscious of who needs some time, or the amount of reps we get and the amount of padded practices we get, whatever it may be, and just trying to keep that stuff to where we need to get to do what we need to get done, but also keeping the guys fresh. So I think we have a good balance going right now.
Coach, when I watched the video of the celebration in the locker room, the game balls were given out. I noticed it was really good to see Eli Apple get a game ball, because this kid is he's taking heat, And the thing I admire about him is all he did was, and a lot of it unnecessary heat. He was unnecessarily criticized in some areas, and all he did was sit there and absorb it and take it, and never pointed fingers at anybody else or any of that. And it just seemed to me that the teammates were like, yeah, man, we got this guy's back. He's got our back. It was almost like a microcosm of what's going on with the football team a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. I was happy for him, happy for us. He did his job and was in the right place at the right time. But he plays a position where they're going to come under fire. That's just the way it is. Everybody sees when they make error on the perimeter, good plays and bad. So you got to be thick-skinned. Part of your job requirement. They're going to catch balls. That's what they do in this league. But he just keeps improving and keeping his head down and doing the little things that we're asking him to do, and he's done a good job.
As far as once you've reviewed the tape with the team and everything that's gone along with it, made the adjustments, when you sat back and gave it an overall perspective, did the game plan, was it executed? Did you feel like you called the game and the game was executed pretty much the way you wanted it to unfold?
Yeah, very, very much so. I think, again, there was 3 or 4 plays I wish we'd have back, but
right.
I think that's going to happen in most games where you're never going to be 100%. But at the end of the day, if you're not giving up explosives and, when you're getting off the field on third down and you're playing great red zone, you're going to win a lot of games. And, that's what's going to be critical this week against the Steelers is, don't let them get any deep balls to 18 or 11, and go from there. So
let's talk about them a little bit. The Pittsburgh Steelers. You've already beaten them once. You went to Pittsburgh, beat them 24-10. Had a very, very strong defensive performance. Couple of interceptions gave the Bengals short fields offensively. Very short fields, in fact, offensively from a point production standpoint. Sacked Ben Roethlisberger multiple times. There was some good pressure there. You didn't out there. You controlled their running game totally. They basically tried to use Najee Harris and screens and short passing game to get the ball in his hands. You took the running game away from him. What kind of things occurred in game one that you can carry over to game two here against the Steelers, do you think?
Well, I think you said it. You gotta don't let him get the run game started and pressure Ben as much as possible. And he gets the ball out quick, and he's always has, and one of the fastest guys in the league. So we got to play good tight coverage and be on point there. And when they do check it down to 22, Najee, we got to do a great job tackling. We had a couple times in the first game where we were there, we just didn't make the first tackle, and he turned it into some positive yards. So we got to do a great job tackling on him. He's a big, strong runner, but we want to have the same outlook against the run and no explosives in the pass game. That'll be key.
Looking at numbers, and of course, numbers don't always tell the story. There's a story behind every game. There's a story behind every play in every game. The way this sport is played. That's why it's the greatest sport ever. You got 22 moving parts every single snap. But the Steelers, in my experience with Pittsburgh, they've always been able to run the football. They've always been able to stop the run. That's been a big staple of theirs. And right now, they're minus almost 36 yards, 35.9 yards rushing and yards allowed rushing, just 27th in the league, very un-Pittsburgh-like. And the yards per carry on an average basis is minus 1.1, which is second worst, tied for second worst in the National Football League. Very, very un-Pittsburgh-like. Do you expect them to still say, look, we don't care what the numbers are to this point. We're going to try to establish the running game first and foremost. Do you expect that, Coach?
Yeah, 100%. I don't. I just think throw the numbers out. It's the Steelers and the Bengals, and it's the whole AFC North is playing each other this weekend, and I just think it'll be what from them, and they'll try to impose their will on us, and we got to make sure that it doesn't. We don't allow it to happen from the physical standpoint, and just go back out there and the same formula as it always is, but playing smart, don't have any unforced errors on our end, and again, I can't say it enough. We cannot let them throw the ball over our heads.
Right, and Ben in his younger years, Coach, was so good at extending and creating, getting out of pocket and extending plays, and doesn't necessarily have that athleticism anymore to do that kind of thing. But does he still, in his own way, kind of extend and create plays without having all the mobility that he once had?
Yeah, for sure. It's not what it used to be, which he was one of the more feared guys. It was hard to tackle, hard to sack. You'd fall right off him, and he'd just throw the ball down the field. But you still, at times, he can still do it. He gets himself in position to do it at times and keep plays alive. But it's just, as you mentioned, it's just a little bit less than, it's a lot less than what it used to be. But still a dangerous player, first ballot Hall of Famer, and we have great respect for him and what they do.
What about the tight end position, Coach? You just go against a real good one, like we were talking about in Waller, and you got Kittle coming up, you got Andrews coming up, you got Kelsey coming up, but Pittsburgh's got themselves a tight end or two now too, don't they?
Oh yeah, for sure. And they've got three guys that they feature, and Freiermuth kid has done a good job. His targets have increased, and especially down the red area. But they're all big guys. They're big targets, and as you mentioned, we're going to see it all the way down here, down the stretch. Just coming off of one of the best in the league this past weekend. So we certainly have to pay attention to those guys as well.
What do you think in your experiences, you've been around the league for a while now, Coach. The road victories have been impressive. I mean, this team has traveled very, very well. What's the key to success to getting it done on the road?
I just think, the business-like approach that we take, you fly into Vegas and there's a few distractions out there, to say the
Right.
least. But you fly in there and you come and you just show up and you win the game, you get on the plane, you go home. I just think the approach has been the same all year long, whether we're flying to Vegas or wherever, Pittsburgh or earlier in the year, or Baltimore. It doesn't matter. The guys have been, laser focused, and it's shown. And we just got to make sure we continue that the same thing at home.
And now you're at home for 3 straight weeks. You had the 3 straight road game stretch, which is tough. The National Football League normally doesn't make a team do that, and you won 2 of them. Now you're at home for 3 in a row. And how big a factor can that be? I mean, how excited are the players and coaches to be in front of their home fans 3 weeks in a row?
Yeah, the guys mentioned it yesterday, coming out of the meetings, that they can't wait to play in front of our fans again. And,
Right.
And just get out there. And, it's the little things, on Saturday night or Friday, you're not stressed on, I got to leave, I got to get this done, I got to get that done. You're going to be home, you got some more time. It's just, you're in your own locker room before the game, you're not somewhere else. So I just think it gets the guys to be a little bit more comfortable and focus even more on, the task at hand, which is the Steelers this week.
So final question, Coach, and appreciate you carving all the time, because I know this is a busy game plan day, and for you to carve time for us is fantastic.
No problem.
You're in a plethora of teams that kind of all their goals are in front of them. You control your own destiny. And the AFC North, I mean, it's bunched up. It's anybody's division, and a lot of the same case in the national, in the AFC in general, just in almost every division. What is your message to the football team as you're going down the stretch? It's good once Thanksgiving comes. Now it's the real time of the year where everybody's jockeying for that position. And what's your daily message to the football team to keep them laser focused?
Yeah, I just think that it's all about it's a one game season each week, and you don't look any further than that. It's like a horse with blinders on. This is all that matters this week. Go through the game preparation, the process of getting ready for the game, and stay away from all the stuff that doesn't really matter, because as good as things will be said about you this week was not as good as last week. So
Right.
just focus on this week, this game, what our jobs are, and then you go on to the next one once this one's done. And it just has to be that way. It's just rinse and repeat, and it can be tedious at times, but that's the way the good teams do it. And you focus on the job and the task at hand, not, hey, if we get this one, then this happens. That if you get all that, you just gotta handle what's in front of you, and the rest will take care of itself.
Coach, I know you're a family man. Thanksgiving coming up here. Enjoy family, friends, and the good food of Thanksgiving, and you deserve it. And have the best holiday you've ever had, sir.
I appreciate it. Same to you guys. Happy Thanksgiving. My favorite holiday of the year, favorite food of the year there. So I can't wait.
I'm with you, Coach.
All right.
I mean, the leftovers, man.
Yeah, same here.
Sandwiches, are you kidding me? Turkey
Great.
sandwiches for a few days. Have a good one, sir.
All right. See you guys. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.